Hey guys, it's Simply Imaginary People Frankie, and today I just want to do a tutorial a bit about functional objects and what to look out for and how to make them functional. So the first object I'm going to show you is just going to be a lamp. So if you make a lamp, I'm just going to pick an EA one, or you're converting a lamp, then what you need to do is consider where the light is coming from. So you need to go to MISC, and you'll see here under light, it will have a ball, or if there's only one light, or multiple balls, and these balls will have a certain height, and they'll have certain settings. So it can be a point light, spotlight, window light, and some other types of light. And you can move these lights up and down, change the intensity, the angle, and other stuff. You'll have to fiddle around with it. I'm not going to tell you how, because it really depends on which lamp. If you're creating a lamp, I think the best thing to do would be to go in game, find a CC lamp you already like, where you like the type of light it has, and import your mesh over that lamp, and then change the height of these little balls so they fit. And also what you can do is you can say add or minus to add multiple lights. So if you have like a long string lamp, you can have 5 of these little balls along the string lamp, so the light actually goes over the whole lamp. Then I want to show you groups. So objects have a lot of groups. If you click the dots, you'll see the type of object. So this one is called glass for objects. Objects, unlike clothes, you don't do opacity with the multiplier and the shader. This is pretty much the shader. So you've got things like glass for objects, glass for portals, glass for rabbit holes. What usually interests people is glass for objects and Fong, which I'll show you in a minute. And then you've got some settings here that you can fiddle around with. Which setting does what, you'll need to figure out. I don't know half of them. I usually do the same thing. I find one that has glass I like and import my mesh over that one. Then you have this called Fong. Fong is just the absolutely typical normal Fong, aka the solid part of your mesh. There's also one called Fong Alpha. Fong Alpha, okay, I'm not going to change it now. Editing alpha threshold makes your object more see-through. So if you want to use see-through objects, you can edit the alpha map on your multiplier. So that one does work with the alpha. So change your alpha map to gray. Check out my tutorial on transparent close for that. And also fiddle with this threshold to make see-through parts of your mesh, like my retro crib. The front of that see-through using the Fong Alpha. And the other group you usually have, which this one doesn't because it's a lamp, is the drop shadow, which is the darkest shadow that's under the object, generally just from light above. Okay. Now what I want to show you is a crib. Right. Just going to export this as a .wazo for a moment. Go to desktop so that I can show you. So most objects functionality come either with scripts, and scripts are already saved pretty much in the object. So unless you're really good and know how to add extra scripts to objects, I would import, if you're making a crib, I would import your crib over a previous crib so that you keep the script. Now, if I turn on joints, you'll see there are different joints. Joints are, or bones, are what makes the second part of the functionality. So these are bits that move. And you can see here, these are the two joints. So the one that has F001 at the end is pretty much the basic bone. Deco objects have this bone. Pretty much anything has this bone. And parts only have a different bone if they move separate of the rest of the object. So a chair, for example, all just has the F001 object because the whole object moves forward when the people slide. But things like a wardrobe, where only one shelf goes out, only one part, so one shelf will have a different bone. I'll show you that in a minute. And here you can see in the crib, this part is yellow because this part slides up and down when you put the toddler in or not. So if you're making a crib that doesn't have one of these front sliders, you would assign everything to this purple FOO1 bone, and if you want this bit to slide up and down, you'll need to assign only the verts that belong to this front bit to this yellow part. Same with the wardrobe. Let me show you that. Object. Right, here you can see what I've done is I've got the purple base bone and I've got this one wardrobe up here that has blue, and that means that the script says this part will get pulled out when the sim opens the wardrobe. So this is just how you make things move, pretty much by assigning the correct bone to it. The easiest way to do this is to export an EA object that you want to clone out and check which parts are assigned to which bone, because that's going to tell you pretty much what to do. One other thing is objects like bathtubs. Bathtubs are also a bit more complicated. Bathtubs, here we go. Take a look at a bathtub. The best thing is to, before you make an object, always check out the EA version of the object. So this is the EA bathtub, and you can see we've got quite a lot of groups. First group is the Fong. Second group is a drop shadow. Then you've got another Fong group. And then you've got basin water group, which I'm guessing is the one that looks like water. So when you make your own bathtub, you're going to need these groups. To check out what these groups are, we're going to again export the .wazo or the .object, doesn't really matter. And check it out again. Sometimes really doesn't like me. If not, I'll just do the groups. Just look at the groups first. Okay. So group 0, if we remember, is Fong group, which means it's a solid group. So if I hide this, you can see it's pretty much the outside of the bathtub. Then you've got the second group, which is this shadow at the bottom. Then you've got the third group, which is the inside of the bathtub. You can see it's disappearing here. And then you've got fourth group, which is this water height. So if I wanted to make a bathtub, I would make sure that I can separate my mesh into exactly these groups. And you can see here, this water height is pretty much at the bottom of the bathtub. So I'd make sure that I'd make a plane, exactly like it looks here, that's at the same height as the bottom of the bathtub. And make sure I order them in exactly this order and call them the right group names. And then the other thing about a bathtub is obviously water flows into a bathtub. And this is usually determined by things either under MISC or slots. So if I check out slots here, effects are things that happen. And being that water is like a cool effect, you'll find it under here. And you'll see that, find it? Yes. This one, I can see if I check it, is here. It's pretty much right in the middle of this. So this is where the water will drip down from exactly this point in the middle. So if I had a bathtub that has its, the water comes out from the side, I could just drag this along, and then the water would be pouring down from here. So all you pretty much have to think about is what functions does a bathtub have. It has to fill with water, so I need this basin water group. The water has to flow from somewhere, so I need to find that slot. So the best things to look at are the effect entries, the group types, and which groups you do have, because all of that is very important. And that is pretty much what I wanted to show you about making objects functional. The best thing is, again, just to look at an EA object, check out the group types, and what you need to know. For things such as glass or see-through, it's always a good idea to import over an object that already has it. So if I wanted to make a candle with a glass around it, then I would clone an object that already has glass so that it already has a group with the glass settings. And that's kind of the way that you save yourself trying to fiddle around with these settings. So yeah, pretty much that easy. To make a functional object, all you need to do is have the right groups, have the right bones, and the right effect slots in the right places.